What is going on, everybody? It's Alex here, coming back at you with another video. We are doing the Arizona Cardinals predictions today. So, quick little background. I am a huge fan of Kyler Murray, not a fan of the Cardinals. And I remember watching him in college. I thought that he definitely deserved to be the number one overall pick. I think he's going to be a big guy in this league. I have a lot of faith in Kyler Murray. Um, but that being said, I just want to put it out there. I'm not a Cardinals fan. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. We can't really like the Cardinals, but I do like the team now just because I really do like Kyler Murray. I'm obviously not going to buy like a jersey or anything, but I think this team is a really damn solid team. So let's do a quick little overview of the team. Offensive line is their worst issue on the entire team. So they have a pretty damn old offensive line at the moment. They have Marcus Gilbert, but they just did add an infusion of youth with a first round quality tackle in the third round in Josh Jones. I think that was one of the best picks that was in that entire draft. Like that and Devin Duvernay probably, and James Prochet. I hate to call out the Ravens saying that they had an amazing draft, but they had an amazing freaking draft. I think that Josh Jones was possibly the best pick in the entire draft, just because of the fact that I was perfectly fine if the Cardinals took him at 10, or what, they're at 8? Yeah, I would be like, okay, I get it. But they also got Isaiah Simmons in the draft. It's just like, that's freaking mind-boggling, guys. Mind-boggling how they were able to pick up Isaiah Simmons, my number 2, if not number 1 guy in the class. Like, it was arguable, like 2 and 1. I had Burrow tied second with Simmons, so it was like I couldn't really make up my mind just because Simmons has so much potential. He's so versatile. But regardless, they had an amazing draft. The offensive line, a little bit old, but they got that infusion of youth. They're looking a lot better on the O-line. Tight end has a little bit of something to be desired. I think they still have Charles Clay there, which, I mean, he used to be pretty damn good in Buffalo. He's far from a scrub. But, again, they have Ricky Seals-Jones there, too, I believe. So they do have some youth there. They have some potential. Not the best thing. But their wide receiver core, whoo! They have DeAndre Hopkins, which they traded the second round pick for. Yeah. Fuck yeah. And then they have Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella. That is possibly the best wide receiver core in the NFL. Almost undisputably. The Browns can challenge that because they have 2 top guys I don't even think Jarvis Landry's that good. But, he's definitely, we got to put some respect on his name. OBJ and Jarvis Landry is it's a better duo than Nuke Hopkins and then anybody else. I think that's a better duo. But at the same time, it's up there, and they have that depth as well with Andy Isabella as a 4th wide receiver. They can go 4 wide and be starting caliber wide receivers on all 4 fronts. Really great wide receiver core. Running back, they got Kenyon Drake on a 1-year deal, I believe. It might have been a 2-year deal, but it's pretty much a prove-it deal, and I think that was a brilliant idea. He works in that system so well. He made David Johnson look like a piece of shit in that system. At first, it's it might just be the system. It might not be David Johnson, and then Kenyon Drake went in there and lit it up. So, yeah, I like that. And then they also have Chase Edmonds, and he's pretty damn good too. People were saying that he was going to take the job away from David Johnson. I think he had 700 yards or something his rookie season. Something crazy. Very talented. Kyler Murray also, amazing quarterback. One of my favorite prospects I've ever seen. And he has such a bright future. I think that he's going to be challenging Patrick Mahomes for the best quarterback in the league, give a couple years. So going on the defensive side, their defensive line is pretty damn solid. Obviously, their D tackle position is a little bit of a question mark. I don't really know who they have right there right now, but D tackles are just come a dime a dozen nowadays, guys. There's not really that force. Sorry, there was a bug that flew in here. There's not that force. Maybe Derek Brown could be one of those type of guys where it's a big game changer, but there's not really that heightened of a value on that position anymore. But coming on the edge rush, the most underrated player in the entire NFL, Chandler Jones. This dude is literally a top 5 player in the NFL. He comes out every single year and just kicks ass, and nobody gives him credit. What? It's absolutely ridiculous to me. This guy is so underrated. He literally got 19.5 sacks last year, and nobody was talking about him. He is so talented. And then they also have Isaiah Simmons now, which they can put anywhere, like literally anywhere. They have like in their linebacking core, they have Hicks, they have Simmons possibly, they have Reddick, they have some solid talent there, guys. Like it's a pretty damn solid team. And then in the secondary, you have Pat Pete, which yes, he took a small step back last year, but he'll get back. Byron Murphy, a great up and coming corner, and then Buda Baker. Like that's a great freaking trio, guys. Like yes, they could add another safety. Isaiah Simmons might be playing that position. We don't know. It is a stacked freaking roster, and nobody is talking about them being Super Bowl contenders. I legit think that this team could make a run for the Super Bowl this year. We got to see if the NFL catches up to Cliff Kingsbury. But if they don't, watch the fuck out, because this team has Super Bowl potential written all over them. So without further ado, let's kick it off. That's probably my longest intro for this series. But week 1, Arizona, San Francisco, Sunday, normal Sunday game. I'm giving this one to San Francisco. You're going to Santa Clara. It's out in the wilderness. It's just out in open air. And then like there's some winds from the Bay Area there too. It's going to be comfortable for San Francisco, and they are going to be pissed that they just lost the Super Bowl. Okay, so watch out. There's still a really solid defense. Their defensive line is far superior to Arizona's offensive line. But corner-wise, it ain't nothing compared to Arizona's passing attack. Like if Kyler Murray can get that ball off quickly, this game could actually turn heads. It could be going the exact opposite way. He played in Oklahoma. Like it's pretty freaking flat there. There's definitely some wind. It's not like Kyler Murray hasn't played there. He's just gotten used to Arizona now. So, yeah, the defense of San Francisco could be the X factor in this game. Jimmy G doesn't make mistakes. And this is going to be a really good game. It's going to be a close game. The next week, Arizona's at home against Washington. No need to explain this one, guys. This is going to be literally a piece of cake for Arizona. This is going to be a cakewalk. Same thing here with Detroit. We're just going to talk about both of these together. It is, like, Arizona is such a superior team to both of these. Like, the secondaries versus the passing attack is just going to be unreal. And then both of these teams have very solid defensive fronts, but, like, really nothing behind that at the same time. So, it's like, yeah, you can, like, stop the run and stuff, but Arizona's a zone run type of scheme. Like, you're not, like, these defensive linemen don't make the impact that they should. Like, normally, if you're running up the gut, they're going to make a big impact. But if you are spacing out and having these, like, big, fat defensive linemen have to run and stuff, it's so much easier for these running backs to pick apart this type of stuff. That's why linebackers are a huge help, because they're much more agile, and they're able to read lanes a lot better because they don't have a freaking offensive lineman stuck in their face 24/7, which both these teams, not the best linebacking core. So the next week, Arizona goes to Carolina, beats them. I mean, another scenario, like you lost Luke Kuechly. Your linebacking core is kind of hurting. Shaq Thompson's good, but there needs some. They're rebuilding. They'll be in a couple years. I think they could be contenders, especially if they get a quarterback this year. But right now, they will not be able to withstand the firepower of Arizona. It's kind of ridiculous. Next week, similar tale. I know they got C.J. Mosley, and this is assuming full healthiness, but you have C.J. Mosley, possibly not Jamal Adams. Even if you're not getting Jamal Adams, like if like you're not losing Jamal Adams, there's still going to be a little bit of controversy in that locker room. Adam Gase is not the head coach that they want. I'm going to be honest, guys. Adam Gase is going to bring down the New York Jets. They're on their way to supremacy, okay? They have a young quarterback. I think he's like 23 or something. They have Le'Veon Bell. They have Denzel Mims. They really don't have anything else besides Denzel Mims. And unfortunately, we don't even know if Denzel Mims is good, so they might not even have any wide receivers against a lethal secondary. But the offensive line, yes, they got Mekhi Becton, is not there yet. It's not there at all. That Mekhi Becton is a great building piece. I think that it was a great pick at the time. But if there were other options like a Jedrick Wills or an Andrew Thomas, I would have chosen either of those guys over Mekhi Becton any day. You need a more secure guy for Sam Darnold. You cannot just be taking shots on a possible Eric Flowers. So, yeah, this is just going to be a shit show again. Pretty easy schedule so far for Arizona, apart from having to face their own division. Next, Arizona goes to Dallas and beats them on Monday Night Football. I mean, Arizona's just a super firepower style team. And Dallas' secondary is good, but it's not like Nuke Hopkins great good. It's not going to have Pat Pete back there. You don't have Byron Jones anymore. You have Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown, and they have talent, but not Nuke Hopkins talent. Not Larry. I don't even think they have Larry Fitzgerald talent still, because Larry's just like, you throw the fucking ball, Larry's catching it, man. And then Christian Kirk as well, Andy Isabella with that speed. That's covered by Anthony Brown stuff, but you guys get the hint. They're on their way. I mean, they have Clinton Dix, but yeah, they're on their way. Next, Seattle's going fully rested to Arizona on Sunday night. I'm going to give this game to Seattle. They have the rest. That's the key thing. They have the rest, and they're going to have an extra week to prepare. Now, I think that this might change later in the season, but this is going to be definitely an interesting matchup. I think this could possibly be an NFC Championship type game. Like, I love both this division and the NFC North. Like, both of these have some very heavy hitters in their division. I think that all three of these teams can make it into the playoffs. It's kind of insane to say that. I think that all three of these teams can make it in. Next week, Arizona facing rested Arizona facing Miami. That's uncalled for. There's just nothing that's gonna. Yeah, no, it's just ridiculous. Miami, they're rebuilding. They have two of the highest corner contracts. They have a great secondary, something that can match Arizona's, but at the same time, they can get gashed up the middle. That's the problem. They don't have enough firepower in the middle. Now, I've been roasting teams that don't have firepower on the outside, but you have to have firepower in the middle too. Like, you have to be well balanced, because Arizona will pick you apart with zone read. I mean, like with RPOs and then zone running. So, yeah, this is another game. Miami, you'll be up and coming soon. Your quarterback situation is not great either. Next, Buffalo versus Arizona. We're giving this one to Arizona. In the Dome, in Arizona. Is this a Sunday night game? Thank God. I would not want to think that that's the one game that people are going to watch. I think that Kyler Murray's going to just completely pick apart this defense, and Buffalo's a damn good defense. But Arizona, Kyler Murray is just a stud. And Buffalo's offense, I think that it will, like, Josh Allen makes too many mistakes, and not enough big plays in order to counter Kyler Murray. Because Kyler Murray's a pretty I think he's a top 10 quarterback right now. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Next, Arizona is going to Seattle on a Thursday night. I think Seattle takes this series, guys. Seattle is, they're at home now. Before, I was tossing this up, but Seattle had a week of rest as well, just to give them a little more juice, a little more energy. And they're coming from a Monday night game to a Sunday night game. So, they're even less rested than they would be if it's just a normal Sunday to Sunday. They have one less day to rest, and Seattle has one more week to rest. Big difference. Here, the lights are on, and it's in Seattle. It's just kind of hard to beat Seattle at home when the lights are on, because Russell Wilson likes to light it up. Like, when the lights are on, it's just really Russell Wilson. We'll do like a little bit more of a deep dive in their video, but it's really Russell Wilson, that wide receiver core, and somehow an extremely clutch defense that just pulls this team and makes them super talented. So next, Arizona goes to New England. I'm giving this one to Arizona. Arizona is far superior to New England now. New England's hurting. They're hurting. They're just not really. I don't believe in Jarrett Stidham. I think, similar to Gardner Minshew, it's a good excuse to tank, because it's like, oh, if he's the guy, we don't have to really give up anything. But if he is not the guy, then we get Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. Like, okay. I mean, I think Tanner Morgan would be the perfect quarterback for the system, but let's hope that doesn't happen, because I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. See that my big board video. So, yeah, I think Arizona is far superior to New England in every single aspect. It's just not even funny. Next, LA is going to Arizona. I mean, there's no real reason to explain this one. LA is a shit show, guys. Shit show. It's kind of embarrassing. I think that they're going to need to just totally reset the entire team. I think they need to get rid of Goff when it doesn't completely fuck over their cap. They need to get rid of all these big-ass contracts, and they just need to build around Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald as their two features. And they need to just build from the bottom up, and that starts with the offensive line. They don't have an offensive line. They didn't draft any offensive line. They didn't bring in any offensive line. And they're just shooting themselves in the foot. I think they forgot that 3 years ago, I was at the game versus this exact game, apart from LA was at home, so this exact game, where LA couldn't get 100 fucking yards until the late fourth quarter. Because literally Jared Goff could not spend longer than like 2 seconds in the fucking pocket. And Arizona's gotten better. It's not going to be good, guys. So, yeah, this is going to be a shit show. The next week, Arizona goes to New York. They're going to beat them. The run game's going to be stuffed up by New York's offensive line, defensive line. But the corners, it's just, like, the passing attack's going to be way too much. There's nothing that New York can do, especially since DeAndre Baker's arrested for armed robbery. So, yeah, there's no real reason to explain any more than that. This team's up and coming. I think that they could be Super Bowl contenders in probably 3 years. They just need a couple more pieces in that secondary and in the linebacking group, and I think that they could be cooking with Crisco. And Danny Dimes needs to stop fumbling. Next week, Philly goes to Arizona. Is this Sunday night? Oh, that'd be a fun Sunday night game to watch. Arizona's going to take that one. Philly's secondary still isn't where it needs to be. They did a big step with Darius Slay. I don't really know how they're going to expect to continue a dynasty with these large contracts because they have some really high-end talent there. But also they just lost Brandon Brooks. I was about to say Brandon Graham. And this was English. This was made before the Brandon Brooks injury. Like now without Brandon Brooks, this is a no-brainer. The offensive line is so much weaker, and Carson Wentz is just not going to have too much of a good time. And the wide receiver group here is super fast. Well, guess what? The secondary for Arizona, super fast. It's kind of a match made not in heaven, a match made in heaven for Arizona, but it's like a nightmare made in hell for Philly. Next week, San Francisco goes to Arizona. I'm calling upset here. Arizona's going to take this one. They're just going to be comfortable in their dome. They're going to be rolling. They're already on a 4-win streak. They just beat the Eagles, which probably sent them out of the playoffs. And yeah, Arizona is far closer to San Francisco than people think. Far closer. I think home field advantage is the key here. It's the big key. I think Arizona is better than New Orleans. That's a hot take, obviously. But I think that they're better than New Orleans, especially down the stretch. So I think that Arizona's going to be able to turn it on and then keep it going. Next week, Arizona at LA. This is a no-brainer as well. Arizona's going 13-3. 13-3. I did not predict this out, guys. I thought they were going to go 10-6. This game's a questionable one. Until the Brandon Brooks injury, this one was questionable. Same thing here. But, guys, it's a pretty easy schedule. You got Miami, you got Buffalo, you have the AFC East, and then you got the NFC East, and the hardest part is their own fucking division. So, 13-3 is kind of crazy, but yeah, we don't need to explain Arizona, LA anymore. So let me know what you guys think. This is it's an interesting thing. Like, look at this, 3-3. They're 500 versus winning teams right now, and 10-0 versus losing. Of course, this is not all up to date. We still got to get through all these divisions, but the NFC is being wrapped up in the next 3 days, guys. So keep your eye out for that. Sorry for the late posting, guys. Job's been a little bit crazy, but no excuse. We got to keep rolling with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. We got 2 more subs. Thank you guys so much as well. And I'll see you on the far side. Peace.